You hadn't attracted any legal attention prior to when they just randomly caught you intercepting money?
No. I left that part out.
Okay.
I think on Flagrant or wherever you heard that. But no, I had been raided. We had a stash house raided a year before.
Oh, okay.
Almost to the day, and they got like 5 pounds of weed.
And was your name wrapped up in it?
Yes, but I wasn't at home.
Okay.
So I did get arrested. I turned myself in, but I got basically felony probation. So I took the charge because the stash house was a couple of my college buddies who had nothing to do with it. They were just, God bless them, good enough to keep it at their house.
Right.
So then they got arrested. So I'm like, I can't let them go down. They have futures. You know what I mean? They have jobs, right? So I took it, but I had a squeaky clean record. So I didn't do any jail time besides, the night that I spent in jail and bailed out. But now I got a felony. Now I'm on 3-year probation. I knew if I got popped again, really, like I was going down. So that's when I should have got out of the game, but I started making like 5 times more money.
Really?
It's crazy.
Just unrelated. Things were just going well.
Oh, I just met more plugs, better prices, more buyers, And
were you switching up how you did
things? I'm shipping like 50 a week at some point.
Really?
I mean, it's like, probably $5 million worth of weed went through the mail in 1 year.
Now, how many different people do you have shipping the packages out, though?
3.
Really?
Yeah, so I have, you have drivers going down to get it, bringing it back up. Got to the point where I was moving so much that the growers were like, no, my friend, I'll bring it up to you. So they were driving it up. So that cut out a step. One got had a little factory line, little assembly line where we packaged it, repackaged it, got it ready to box up. I was very, very meticulous.
And each pack had how many pounds?
5.
So you do 5, not 10?
No, I never did 10.
10's too crazy looking?
It was too crazy to me. I didn't want to. A lot of people did, compress 10 pounds into like one big block, but I never had the balls.
But you're also kind of making the weed look like shit, huh?
Yeah, you're making it look like shit, and you're just taking double. I'd rather send 2 boxes, but it was really like 4 going out the same day. So I had different people driving to different FedEx or UPS locations. Yeah. And this is before you had to show your ID to mail shit out. Now, if you go mail a package out of FedEx, I just learned this like recently.
Really?
You have to present ID, but back then you didn't. So we just get all the shipping labels ready with the phony names and the addresses on the East Coast.
And they're swiping your ID to make sure it's legit?
They might be now, yeah. But the guys, especially the Dominicans, they had access to all of these different businesses in Washington Heights and Inwood. A Boost Mobile store, a little fruteria, right? A little fruit store, a little carniceria, a little meat store. And so I always had different addresses to ship the boxes to. So it was perfect. You know what I mean? The hardest part, was, the money.
Yeah.
Because how do you
getting it, storing it,
boom, all of that.
Yeah,
like that's real. I was like, oh my god, I realized it when I had 50 grand and nowhere to put it. I was like, wow, this is like the problem that I always wanted.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't imagine having that just 5 years ago. I'm like, I literally have to put this in my mother's bathroom under her sink until I could think of like another place to put it,
Right.
Did you hear that story?
Which one? About you?
I stashed 50 G's, 40 or 50 G's. It was in a trash bag.
Right.
And I was at my mom's house and she came home and I'm like, okay, I'll just keep it in her bathroom under her sink and come back and get it like the next day, right? Just till I figure out a place to put it. So I stashed it under her sink. She was cleaning later, found the garbage bag, didn't look into it. She goes, oh, it must be trash. And she just tossed it out.
Wow. How did you communicate with her about this? Did you go through the trash and find it, or was it
no? Because I went back to the house 2 days later, and I looked under the sink and I go, Mom, did you see a trash bag under here a couple days ago? It was kind of heavy. She goes, oh yeah, I threw that in the garbage. And I go, oh my God, when was trash day? She goes, oh, it was this morning.
Wow.
50 G's.
You had a good sense of humor about it at the time, or was it devastating?
It was tough. Like I was like, Mom, I told her what that was just to like be a piece of shit, make her feel bad. And she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I went and got a menthol and I said, it's okay.
Really?
And I just went and smoked a cigarette and I was like, okay, I'll have this back in a week.
That's the attitude you got to have.
You got to. Yeah.
So, okay. So what year did they catch you intercepting the money in the
2010.
mail? Okay.
Fall of 2010. It'd be almost, goddamn. is that 12 years? No, 14 years ago. God damn.
Yeah. No, 2010, that's when I moved here. So
Yeah.
kind of significant year in my mind as well.
Totally.
But so
That was where the change happened. We started to go digital. You know what I mean? Like Twitter came around.
Yeah.
That was like a real, when I came home in 2012, I'm like, oh, life's different. We live in like a digital age now.
totally. Where okay, and to me it's weird because I lived in New York for 7 years and then I moved to California and almost immediately like Instagram comes out.
Yeah.
And at that point, I realized by like 2012, like, oh, all the dudes who were acting like they were the coolest people on earth when I lived in Brooklyn they have like 300 followers. They're like randoms to me now because now
Right.
I'm in California. I'm in the clout world
yeah.
where, and this is obviously like overtaken our entire society.
Yeah.
But like, you know, there like being cool in Brooklyn in 2008 was about like wearing the right pants
Having
and
a
hanging out at the
mustache.
right bar.
Right.
But you had to generate your clout from going out and being in the real world.
Right.
By 2012, it's like, oh no, now we're doing fit pics.
Dude, you got to have a feather in your hat, suspenders,
Yeah.
and a mustache, and you can't look like you're having too good of a time. That was the hipster
Yes.
movement that, thank God, got knocked out. If we can say that like one good victim of the digital age is that gay hipsterdom. I never liked that shit.
No, me neither. And it's just like, I hated it because it was just based on so little. And it made me feel good because I was always a person who, even during that whole time period with my BMX website and stuff, I'm doing pretty good for myself financially, but I never would like dress the part.
Right.
Just like dress like a regular guy.
Yeah.
And then like
Yeah.
the dude with like the obscure vintage t-shirt would be like, I would feel like he was looking at me in the bar like he was cooler than me.
Yeah, it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
You just drink,
Yeah.
you know?
But that was enough at that time.
Yeah.
Somehow that was enough to make
That
you
was
like
kinda
really
nice,
cool.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But I got locked up in 2010.
yeah. And when you get locked up, what were the legal proceedings like?
All right, so they found so much money. They never found any product. They never found any work. They actually didn't have a lot of evidence besides, almost $1 million in cash. So that was the sign from the universe, like, bro, this is not your game. If you're gonna let these catch you with, the nest egg, basically, right? They didn't get all of it, but, after paying a couple $100,000 to the lawyer, money on my books, money to the family before I went in, plus like, again, almost 7 figures that they seized. I didn't have much money left over when I got out, but basically they intercepted a package of money coming from one of my buyers on the East Coast, because I didn't fly there. A lot of people like take private jets to go pick up the money after they ship the work.
Yeah.
I never did that. I'm like, there's no time for this. You wrap my money, you wrap my cash like I wrap your dope, and you box it and you send it. Just like I next day air your weed,
Right.
But a dog smelled it. They didn't wrap it right. It wasn't the Dominicans. They always came correct. It was the stupid guineas from South Jersey that would like send me, $40,000 that reeked of weed.
Right.
Like they were smoking blunts and blowing it over my money. It
But
was
so
crazy.
there is a way to package the weed that the dogs aren't going to smell, because when you Google it, I remember back in the day Googling and trying to like figure this out for myself, and it was like, it's like dogs smell differently than us.
That's so funny.
They're not
You
smelling the
Google
thing
how
up-
to do it.
Oh, yeah,
You
for
really
sure.
are white, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean, you can find some good information. It's like, what? They're not tracking my search results. It's not like I'm searching like how to kill the president.
They do now.
If I search how to ship weed, you think they're going to find it?
Yeah, if they would, if they were trying to put you away for weed.
I still wish I had made this YouTube video that I really wanted to make in like 2012, where I was going to film us packaging it up, film us wrapping it, all the different things, inserting, I don't remember what we were doing, put some peanut butter in there or some shit, like put all this different stuff, and then film us going to the post office, and then film on the other side as well, intercepting it, like just hop on a plane. I wanted to just film the whole thing, but the problem was
amazing.
that we were too close to the actual act of doing that.
Right.
But I then when we stopped, it still was like a few more years before I was like even, where it would have been like an okay idea.
Should
but that
we do
would
that
have been,
now? Let's do that. Let's make
we could do it
let's
right
make that
now
video
for sure.
out of-
Yeah. Well, the problem on YouTube is just like you're not gonna.
No.
But you don't actually have to show any of the shit that you're packaging.
No. I mean, look, it may not get monetized.
You might have to. You're gonna have to title it in a weird way. Shipping out 10 pounds of that loud.
We
That
get,
doesn't that's not gonna hit like algorithmically.
Right.
None of those words.
Yeah.
But
No, I
like
know.
they still would figure it out probably.
But there was a way to ship. Look, I didn't. Dogs I heard dogs can smell through, but they don't smell like we smell.
Yes.
Like if there's like beans and fish and cocaine,
They smell them all.
they'll smell beans, fish, and cocaine if they're
Yes.
trained to do it.
Yeah.
But again, we're throwing volume at the problem,
Yeah.
and we're making a risk based off the volume of commerce is so large. We're just getting lost in the sauce. That's how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Like out of 400, I think 2008 we shipped 400 boxes. And 397 got through, seriously.
Wow.
And then the next year it was probably 600 boxes. And again, the same, maybe 5 got picked up. So we're just throwing volume at it, you know what I mean? And we were incredibly successful. But a few of our money packages got snatched too. So I would tell the guys, I'm like, you got to vacuum seal the money. The money is smaller. This should be easy for you guys. But this is what happens when you deal with drug dealers. So a dog smelled it in a FedEx sorting facility, and they put a little tracking device in it, and they tracked it all the way to Oregon, all the way to Portland.